Hey everybody, it's Michael Waddell with another edition of Outdoor Bites. Mike Robinson.
So nice to meet you, sir.
It is a pleasure to meet you, man.
And
Big
you.
fan of what you do. And honestly, when I think about you sitting here, how do you even have time, man? You're from UK. You got 4 different shows. I know Fish in the Wild, Farm in the Wild. You got all these.
The masterclass shows are, you know,
Yeah.
those are sort of, the masterclass shows are kind of core to what I do. Like, I'm a restaurant chef at heart.
Yes.
And so all I'm doing is cooking for people, right? And trying to teach people a recipe, but all on game, all on wild food. And that's my passion for 25 years, has been wild food.
That is amazing. And I find it fascinating. And you show this on the episodes that you produce, that you host, of how in the UK is so much different. Where in America, yeah, I mean, you might go to a restaurant and get bison, let's say, or you might can get elk, but it's typically farmed in the same fashion that beef cattle, where you can take a harvest straight from the field into your restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, we have a system whereby I have a venison business.
Okay.
Deer box, it's called, and I started a few years ago. We have a 4,000 square foot factory, and the deer from all the different land that we manage, all private. It's all private in Britain. Every bit of it. No public land. But we have a colossal problem with wild that you should come over.
I would love it.
We have a colossal problem with wild deer. Like, our overpopulation is like a factor of 3. It is, during lockdown for 2 years.
Right.
Hardly any deer got harvested. You imagine in the US, if you had 2 breeding cycles of female white-tailed deer when no one shot any.
So there was no hunting in that.
Well, you couldn't sell them, right?
Ah, gotcha.
Couldn't sell them. You can give them away, but how much can you give away? I mean,
Exactly.
So, I mean, my little organization harvests 1,200 a year.
Wow.
You know, it's busy.
So feed a lot of people.
Oh yeah, the restaurant, my biggest restaurant, the Woodsman in Stratford-on-Avon, the one we film a lot in and everything, that goes through 4 fallow deer a week, every week, without fail.
Wow. Have you found, what is the favorite? Like when it comes to venison, when you talk about all the animals, the white-tailed deer, obviously fallow deer.
Fallow deer.
Sitka, fallow deer.
It is the F-150 of the venison world.
It's
right?
the best.
It is, I search for one word, and that's consistency, all right?
Yes.
That's my dream. So as a restaurateur, I want things to be consistent. So I strive to get wild food that of all different ages from different locations, but I want it to be the same on the plate. So we're obsessive about how the deer is handled after it's shot. We're obsessive about temperature control, about bleeding, about all these factors that contribute to a consistent carcass, right?
Yes.
And, but the fallow deer, it's 1.5 years old or it's 9 years old. If it's treated right, it's like butter, and it's mild and most of the people who eat my venison are not hunters, they're the public.
So they're coming specifically to eat wild venison or just a good food?
It's a good restaurant. They're
Just
coming to a good restaurant. But when they're on there, it's like, it'll say like a pave of wild fallow deer with this and that and the other, and they're like, that sounds awesome, I'll have that.
Sounds good.
And then they go, every time they come back, they have it again.
So similar to, you might be here in Las Vegas and you end up deciding that, hey, I'm gonna try duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're eating fallow for the first time.
Yeah.
And with that, is there, from a hunting heritage, like for me, first of all, I love your accent. I'm a big, oh man, I've never been to the UK.
Well, you should come.
I want to come so
I'm
bad.
inviting you now. Come
I love, you know, it's funny, like Downton Abbey, that's my favorite show ever.
Half an hour from my house.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna have to load the wife up. We gotta come because, like, our farm here in Georgia, we call it Downton Dixie.
Yeah, hilarious.
Mirrored after that because I remember my wife when we first bought this
Yeah.
piece of property. We were big fans of the show. They're right in your backyard, and she said, "I don't know. It's gonna take a lot of work." I said, "I promise you, when we get this finished." I remember telling her, I said, "It won't be Downton Abbey. It'll be Downton Dixie." So
I love it.
It'll be so beautiful. So anyway, with that said, from the hunting heritage, is it still alive and well in the UK?
Very much. I mean, we have different terminology, right? So hunting in Britain refers to charging around on the back of a horse chasing a fox wearing a red coat.
Yes.
All right. Shooting refers to a shotgun and birds. Stalking is deer. So if we're
That's deer.
so when I am out harvesting wild deer, I'm going stalking, right? I am a professional stalker. Now, that sounds a bit weird in this day and age, right?
Yes.
You get arrested
So
for
it's
it.
got this.
But no, we're stalking because we do very little sitting in Britain. It's very mobile. Like I manage 8 private properties totaling 60,000 acres, and you know I have teams on all of them. And we have high stands, but it's all on foot with a rifle. It's illegal to hunt with a bow in England.
Is it still, does that date all the way back to the Robin Hood days, or is it more considered a poacher's tool? What is that?
No, it's only actually been illegal since about 1980.
Really?
We'll never change it either, unfortunately.
Is it just real political when it comes to that?
Yeah, you couldn't change it now. But rifle, you got to realize, I think that there's 3 to 4 million wild deer in England, okay?
Wow.
It's the size of North Carolina, okay? We think there's 3 to 4 million wild deer. There's people everywhere, houses everywhere. But it's also very rural. And there are 6 species of wild deer and some wild boar as well.
That
Proper
is so
Eurasians,
crazy.
by the way, not hogs.
Right.
And I've got 5 species on the land I hunt. And I can hunt a deer 365 days a year. I can wake up in the morning and go, it's not raining, I'm going hunting. Or it is raining, I'm going hunting.
That is
Stalking.
so cool.
And I'm drive 10 minutes and I'll go, okay, I'm going to do that little valley. Get a rifle out, get the dogs, stalk with my dogs. My business partner just sent me a short film.
No
He went
way.
out this morning and got 10 fallow deer in
Are you
20 minutes.
serious?
Yeah.
That is awesome. And kind of, I know we're running out of time here to chat, but I was going to say too, so the difference would be, would you say that socially, the chance to hunt, is it still got a lot of the tradition of the wearing the tweeds or
Oh yeah.
so
We don't
it's
wear a
more
lot of camo. You'll see in my shows, I tend to wear neutral colors a lot. Like, and it's quite relaxed. I go stalking for a morning, go to the pub for lunch, go stalking again in the evening,
So it's all about fun. It's about the social opportunity to
And it's an
pursue. And it's serious.
environmental necessity.
Yes.
We have to cull these deer. It has to be done. I have to get up whether it's pouring with rain. There are no tags, no fish and game department, no hunting licenses in Britain, none. So if I manage the deer on behalf of the landowner, I decide on the management program and what gets culled.
That is interesting. We could talk for hours on that, because I think that's something that America we should really look deeper into, some of the private landowners' opportunity to manage. Because nobody's going to love the deer or the animals more than we do, but we also understand we got to manage these resources.
We have to manage them. And also, for me, the shame is that the American public have very little opportunity to eat it, to commune with it through food. And I understand the American method, system of wildlife management. I talked to the National Congressional Caucus in Montana in October. I was a speaker there talking about how we do it in Britain versus what's over here. And I'm never going to suggest to people that they do it a different way, but Britain is an interesting model. And because a lot of the public eat the deer, there's very little resistance to hunting deer in Britain.
See, to me, that makes perfectly good sense. And I guess from a thankfulness of what you're doing on your television programs here in America, we can see that. We can feel that vibe. You can see kind of the same culture, because I've always thought if we're a hunter, whether anywhere you're at, we're all the same. But socially, it's looked upon different. And opportunities of what you have a chance to do over there in UK versus what we have to do goes hand in hand, so we can learn a lot from each other.
I
You
agree.
did one phenomenal job of not only talking about the conservation, but also making no excuses for eating this wild game.
Yeah.
And using it as a resource. And so I'm just thankful that that we get to see your entertainment value.
Please come over and do it.
I would love that.
I mean it. You and your wife. We'll take you to Downton Abbey, Highclere Castle, it's really called, and come over and come and hunt. I'd love to take you hunting.
Mike,
love it.
Robinson, hey buddy, I'm a
you're
big
lovely to
fan,
meet.
and I'm gonna take you up on it.
You do.
So when my wife sees this, I'm gonna get you close to Downton Abbey. I'm
You're
gonna get you
on.
close, my
We'll
buddy
get
Mike
you in.
Robinson.
We're going to do a tour.
Let's do it. Thanks for watching Outdoor Bites with Michael Waddell.